ज्यांच्या हस्ते ओटी कॉम्प्लेक्सचं उद्घाटन झालं त्या आपल्या सगळ्यांच्या लाडक्या आरोग्य विज्ञान विद्यापीठाच्या व्हाईस चॅन्सेलर डॉक्टर माधुरी कानिटकर कृपया स्टेजवर स्थानापन्न व्हावं. डॉक्टर शब्बीर इंदोरवाला, डॉक्टर अबुझर इंदोरवाला, CEO युसुफ आणि डॉक्टर गौरी. आपणा सगळ्यांचं पुन्हा एकदा मनपूर्वक स्वागत. आणि एका ENT हॉस्पिटलच्या, खरं म्हणजे इन्स्टिट्यूटच्या उद्घाटनाला आपण इथे जमलो. वैद्यकीय व्यवसायात ह्युमन टच ला जेवढं महत्त्व आहे तेवढंच इन्फ्रास्ट्रक्चर आणि स्टेट ऑफ आर्ट इक्विपमेंट याला सध्या महत्त्व आहे. आधुनिक वैद्यक फार झपाट्याने प्रगती करत आहे आणि नवीन नवीन तंत्रज्ञान येत आहे. ज्या आजारांचं पूर्वी निदान होत नसे त्याच्यावर आता उपचार उपलब्ध आहेत. आणि काळाच्या बरोबर राहण्यासाठी आपल्याला काळाच्या पुढचा विचार करून नवनवीन फॅसिलिटीज लोकांना कशा उपलब्ध करून देता येतील याचा विचार करायचा आहे. त्या दृष्टीने विचार केला तर हे इंदोरवाला ENT हॉस्पिटल हा नाशिकच्या वैद्यकीय विश्वातला एक मैलाचा दगड ठरणार आहे. कारण भविष्यात जी डेव्हलपमेंट होऊ शकते त्यासाठी लागणारं सगळं स्टेट ऑफ आर्ट इक्विपमेंट आणि इन्फ्रास्ट्रक्चर नाशिकच्या लोकांना त्यांनी उपलब्ध करून दिलं आहे. कदाचित भारतातली ही सगळ्यात मोठी इन्स्टिट्यूट असावी. या हॉस्पिटलबद्दल माहिती देण्यासाठी मी अबुझर इंदोरवालांना विनंती करणार आहे. डॉक्टर अबुझर इंदोरवाला यांनी 2009मध्ये ENTमधलं पोस्ट ग्रॅज्युएशन पूर्ण केल्यावर कुआलालंपूर, अमेरिका, ऑस्ट्रेलिया इथे कॉक्लिअर इम्प्लांट, रायनोप्लास्टी, पिनाप्लास्टी, मिडल इयर सर्जरी अशा फेलोशिप्स केल्या आणि गेली 12 वर्ष ते ENT हॉस्पिटलमध्ये ENT सर्जन म्हणून काम करत आहेत. आणि मिडल इयर सर्जरीत त्यांचा विशेष हातखंडा आहे. डॉक्टर अबुझर.
Thank you, everybody. It's a real honor and a privilege to be here, and to be here with all of you is even better. So thank you so much. Our partners are my seniors, my juniors, people I have worked with, they have seen me grow, and people I have looked up to are all here today, and it is an extreme privilege and honor to be here. Thank you. Kanitkar Madam, Kakotkar Sir, welcome and thank you. These are the beginnings. The wizard that you see with the white beard is my grandfather, my father's father. The candles that you see we are celebrating his 100th birthday. And that is the time when my father said that enough, I must give back to society. And we started expressing this. We were doing this even before that, but then we started expressing this. And we expressed it in a way that we started getting patients from Pet, Surgana, Harsul. You know, these are the relatively backward places in the district of Maharashtra, in the district of Nasik. Not only did we go there, examine them, choose the patients, bring them to Nasik city, operate them, give them food, give them clothes, because that was just a 2-day affair. But we went back after 10 days, we got them back to the hospital, we dressed them and we followed them up till the time the ear, nose and throat were completely healed. And this was a tribute that my father prayed to his father. From very humble beginnings of beginning in a very small setup that was nearly a garage, to come up to this state, to this state-of-the-art hospital has been a very long journey. I would not say it was a difficult journey ever for my father, because that was his objective, that was his goal, that is what he always wanted to do, give back in ENT, pay back the society in the currency of ENT. Gen next, that's me. I followed his footsteps. I became an ENT surgeon too. Apart from the regular practice, Indorewala sir has given the world the concept of stitchless ear surgery. Before this, all ear surgeries were done from behind the ear, from behind. They used to make an incision, they used to cut the ear, and then they used to perform. It was Indorewala sir who first conceptualized the fact that no, we need not cut the ear from behind, and that is those were the origins of the stitchless ear surgery saga. In 2011, he was awarded the Limca Book of Records for performing the most number of stitchless ear surgeries, 5,500 plus in the world. Apart from this, the institute under his tutelage has given many research, groundbreaking primary research that we have done in this hospital, like skull base repair, repair of the posterior sigmoid, posterior canal wall using the sigmoid plate. Shreya ma'am and Vinay sir and Umesh uncle would understand this like this, and but for the rest of them, it's just skull base repair. When the brain starts herniating, coming into the ear, this is where we do the surgery, and it was a groundbreaking research in itself. I am very proud to state that the success rate of stitchless ear surgery has crossed 99%, whereas at one point of time, ear surgery success rate was around 60%, and that is the reason why the previous generation always used to say, कानाचं ऑपरेशन झालं तर यश मिळत नाही बरं का, 50% झालं तर ठीक आहे, नाहीतर नाही होत. आज ती परिस्थिती राहिलेली नाही आहे. आज आम्ही खात्रीपूर्वक पेशंटला सांगू शकतो की नाही, तुमचा कानाचा पडद्याचं जर ऑपरेशन झालं किंवा कानाचं हाडं किडलेलं असेल, ऑपरेशन झालं, किंवा कानाची हाड चिटकलेली असेल आणि त्याचं ऑपरेशन झालं, तर यश मिळण्याची शक्यता 99% पेक्षा जास्त आहे, which is a huge jump. And believe me, even today, sir relentlessly and positively thinks about the fact how to get that 0.5% down to 0.33%, and he spends sleepless nights. We started, when I say we, I mean Indorewala sir started this. We were fortunate enough, myself, Dr. Gauri Mahajan, Dr. Parul, Yusuf sir, Modi sir, we were fortunate enough to cross paths with him in one way or the other. And together now we talk about, not about Dr. Indorewala, but we talk about the Indorewala team, which comprises of all of us. Thank you, Dad. This hospital that you see was the previous hospital. It was built by NBZ Architectural Consultants. N being Noor, my mama, Z being Zohair, my elder uncle, my father's elder brother, and B being Bakir, who has, since the last 5 years, Bakir uncle and I have become very close, and we are like, we discuss things like nearly friends. So, thank you, Bakir uncle. This place was 3,500 square meters, the entire land mass. The built-up area was 1,500 square meters. This present place is 8 acres. The present building size is 1,50,000 square feet. Upgradable to 2,25,000 square feet. The mission, treat senses sensibly, whether it be smell, whether it be hearing, whether it be speech, or whether it be taste. Treat them sensibly. If you treat them sensibly, they respond very well. The vision is to provide holistic, affordable, assured diagnosis which will eventually lead to proper treatment of all ENT ailments. It has been Sir's dream to spread the word of the right practices in ENT across all ENT surgeons, all faculties across medicine. To continuously upgrade the infrastructure and knowledge to be state of the art at all the time is an extremely arduous task. I don't know how he does it. Despite the fact that I've been living with him since the last 47 years, I cannot comprehend. Feroz uncle is giving me a very knowing nod, but you know how it is. The services offered are diagnostic and therapeutic. Abhimanyu, where are you leaving? All diseases and their treatments, whether it be ear, nose or throat, at one point of time, like my seniors and the previous generation would be aware, अरे क्या करेगा रे ENT करके tonsil septum करना है तेरे tonsil septum. I have not done a tonsillectomy this year. Since January till this is the 30th of March, I have not performed a single tonsillectomy this year because the paradigm has changed. Yes, you asked me how many stapedotomies I have done. Maybe I think I must have done around 20. How many tympanoplasties, how many mastectomies, how many skull-based surgeries. Now that is where we start making a difference. How many glomus surgeries? How many vestibular schwannomas? How many vagal schwannomas? I am talking about very high-end, very advanced ear diseases and their treatment that is available in this hospital. The only difference from that hospital to this hospital is, over there I used to say, please, if you want to get this task done, you need to go to this center. Over here I tell them, शेजारच्या रूममध्ये जा, तुमचा स्कॅन तिकडे होऊन जाईल, अर्धा तासात रिपोर्ट मिळेल, मला येऊन दाखवा. The difference is, in that hospital I used to tell them, sorry, माझ्याकडे बेड नाही आहे, मी तुम्हाला ऍडमिट नाही करू शकत, तुम्ही पुढच्या आठवड्यात या. And the patient has come from Surat, the patient has come from Hyderabad. What do I tell them? सर एक हफ्ते के बाद भी आना था तो आप फोन पे ही बोल देते. It's not possible. You coming from something, till the time I don't see them, I cannot tell you what to do, what not to do. Over here, I have enough number of rooms to tell them, साहेब उद्या पाहिजे, मी उद्या करून देईन. We have been running a regular workshop to train novice new ENT surgeons since the last 15 plus years. It is the only workshop with the help of Shreya ma'am over here, which is giving me a very broad smile. Ma'am, 25 years workshop la zale, but hands-on dissection la I think 15 years. 25 years. Okay, I'll take her word for it. 25 years we have been doing ear and sinus surgery workshop with the help of Shreya ma'am over here, and she is from MVP Medical College. This is the only fellowship to be awarded by the Maharashtra University of Health Sciences in the field of otology. So after one finishes their masters, this is their super specialization in which they will focus only on ear surgery. As Sanklecha sir already mentioned, yes, I have been fortunate enough to train across the world in different faculties of ENT, whether it be ENT plastics, whether it be voice, whether it be middle ear surgery, inner ear surgery, endoscopic skull-based surgery, so on and so forth. Again, I haven't said this enough. Thank you, Dad. I've been working at Team Indorewala since the last 15 years. At the age of 27, I became the youngest cochlear implant surgeon in Maharashtra. Thank you, Dad. I have the privilege of working with Dr. Gauri Mahajan. She is a fine ENT surgeon, and when you see the tympanoplasties she does, it is hard for me to make out whether has Indorewala son done this surgery or whether has Gauri madam done this surgery. She has a very fine hand and a very fine clinical acumen as far as ENT diseases are concerned. And she's a very nice human being as well. Thank you, Gauri. Now this is something very close to my father's heart. This is a goal that was conceptualized by Dr. Indorewala and has been carried forward by Team Indorewala, is the cochlear implant program. It is the only cochlear implant program outside of Mumbai and Pune to be run successfully. We have performed more than 500 cochlear implants, and I'm very proud to say they are doing well. Indorewala Hospital, Team Indorewala runs another trust called as the IMEMIRC Trust, IMEMIRC Trust. During the COVID era, when mucormycosis had taken the country by storm, in 3 months, we spent through the trust 1.5 crore rupees just to help these 150 patients odd that had come to us with fulminant, full-grown mucormycosis. Now, for people who don't know mucormycosis is what was at one point in time called as the black fungus. It was bad. It used to spread like wildfire through the nose, into the eyes, onto the teeth, the palate, the brain, and the patient would eventually succumb, unfortunately. We had 2 deaths in the first 1 week. And because of early intervention, because of early recognition, we did not suffer a single casualty in the 165 plus patients that we treated. That was something really worth commendable. It is a otology, this present state of the art institute at Villoli has numerous subspecialties: otology, rhinology, pediatric ENT, laryngology, skull-based surgery, cochlear implantation, pediatric ENT, and ENT plastics. Again, a game changer was even initially patients would be examined with a headlight or a head mirror. It was Sir who started the idea that no, we need to examine the patients under microscope, and that was again a game changer. Thank you, Dad. The audiology department is a holistic department, from examination or to identify hearing defects to full-blown speech therapy. Everything is available under one roof. We have a pathology center, we have a radiology center with CT scan, MRI, sonography, regular X-rays. This is our operation theater, the ICU. We have twin sharing economy wards to suites, and we have a dedicated social welfare department wherein we have consultation, diagnostics, surgery, and recovery, everything under one wing. Our state-of-the-art hearing aid department with special demo rooms and the only ear mode lab outside of Mumbai in Maharashtra. The CSSD, Central Sterilization Supply Department and Laundry. What is Team Indorewala's vision for the future? NABH accreditation, which will eventually happen, Joint Commission International, which we are applying for, a Bachelor in Audiology and Speech and Language Pathology program, Mother and Child Center for Cochlear Implants. Team Indorewala, thanks you. Thank you.
डॉक्टर इंदोरवालांचा 150 स्क्वेअर फूट ते 15,000 स्क्वेअर फूट ते 1,50,000 स्क्वेअर फुटाचा हा प्रवास अबुझरने आत्ता सांगितला. इथे जमलेले सगळे डॉक्टर इंदोरवालांचे सुहृद आहेत, त्यामुळे ते त्यांना ओळखतात. तरी पण एक प्रश्न पडतो की असं काय आहे की जे सारखं पुढे जायला उद्युक्त करतात. नॉर्मली आहे तसं आनंदात राहावं किंवा पैसे असे कमवावेत की 7 पिढ्या बसून खातील असा आपला समाजाचा स्वभाव, पण आहे त्यात समाधान न मानता सारखं उत्तुंगाची आस असलेली माणसं अशी कशी असतात. त्याला एक वेगळं पॅशन लागतं, त्याला एक वेगळं व्हिजन लागतं आणि ते व्हिजन प्रत्यक्षात आणण्यासाठी परसेव्हिअरन्स लागतो की तुम्ही चिकाटीने त्याचा पाठपुरावा करा आणि त्याच्यासाठी अत्यंत कष्ट करा. मी डॉक्टर इंदोरवालांना विनंती करतो की त्यांनी आपलं मनोगत व्यक्त करावं की असं कुठलं पॅशन आहे, असं कुठलं ध्येय आहे की ज्याच्या योगे त्यांनी एवढं मोठं इन्स्टिट्यूट, आपण मोठे हॉस्पिटल बरीच बघतो पण आज तुम्हाला बघितल्यावर कळलं असेल की दिस इज समथिंग डिफरंट. हे अशी इन्स्टिट्यूट आहे की कदाचित मुंबई पुण्याचे लोक नाशिकला येतील ट्रीटमेंटला ह्या सब स्पेशालिटीज पूर्ण डेव्हलप झाल्यावर. तर मी त्यांना विनंती करतो की त्यांनी आपलं मनोगत व्यक्त करावं.
All right. I am a victim of conspiracy. Believe me, when I will explain you how, you will realize that I am really a victim of conspiracy. And if you know your conspirator, you can do something about it. But if your conspirator is cosmos, what do? I am a victim of cosmic conspiracy. I'll tell you why. It is by multiple episodes that ultimately I got into medical branch. I had no intention to go into medicine. I was fully prepared myself for an engineering branch. But somehow I landed there. Having landed there and having passed my anatomy and physiology, and in anatomy and physiology, I could never see the nerves that they would keep talking about. This nerve is passing this way, the inguinal nerve, the facial nerve. I wouldn't see them. And whenever I would ask my teacher why I can't see them, it's cadaver में नहीं दिखता है. Now cadaver में नहीं दिखता है तो कहीं तो दिखता होगा. So we passed and I went into medical, that is surgical. I was now allowed, I was senior enough to go into operation theater. And when I started seeing surgeries over there, I was again told, now nahi dikhta hai. Now dikhta nahi hai to hai bhi kya? It was my genuine regular question, कि now dikhta nahi hai to hai kya? Or otherwise it's imagination of human being. I did not see the nerve even. I particularly remember one inguinal hernia being done, and I asked the surgeon, sir, can you show me the inguinal nerve? No, you can't show it. It just so happened that during those days, my uncle had a ear surgery to be done, and Professor Dara Anklesaria was the surgeon. He was good enough and kind enough for me to be allowed in the operation theater. And now, I asked him again, can I have a view through the microscope? Because those days there was no video. There were no cameras attached to microscope. And when I peeped into it and I saw, and what I saw mesmerized me completely. I was bold. I could see with utter clearance the lingua, what is it? Chorda tympani now. And I asked again, is that the nerve? And he said, yes, that's the chorda tympani nerve. And I said, this is what I want to do. I am now hooked onto it and I will do it. That was in second MBBS. I passed my MBBS, I came to MS level. And there were no seats of ENT in those days in open category. So I was pretty sure I'm not going to get it. When I was not to get it, I was so sure, so I filled up some other branches. Radiology was my choice then. My friend took away the paper from me, and those days it was possible because we had friends of that type. He quietly tore that away and he filled up another form with ENT as the first choice. It just so happened that for last 4 terms, there were no reserved candidates who were coming for that post. So this time, the last day, it got declared as an open seat, and I was there. So it was cosmic conspiracy which got me there. Now, when I do any mistake and mess up in ear, nose, and throat, I blame it to Dr. Dara Anklesaria or the chorda tympani nerve. I have not done anything. So that's what it is, I mean, basically what I'm trying to tell you is that I got into ENT all out of mere incidences. Now, this is as far as I am concerned. With respect to my patients, I am amazed at the amount of faith that they put into me. I am sometimes terrified also. They put a tremendous amount of faith and they say, sir, आप बोलिए क्या करना है? ये करना है, कर देते हैं. I have been spoiled by their behaviors. I take things for granted, and when it sometimes occurs to me, then I'm afraid. I'm genuinely afraid. I don't want to misguide or get them misguided in any way. If I tell them that, look, you have such and such problem, you go to maybe Mumbai or somewhere, they say, no, what you want to do it here. That is difficult because the field has grown by leaps and bounds. Now, the third factor of cosmic conspiracy is the way explosion of knowledge has occurred. When I joined the department, it was a tonsil septum department. Everybody would say that last 2 beds over there are ENT beds, go there. There is no importance whatsoever because it was so limited. Today, it is not limited at all. It has grown to leaps and bounds. And we have surgeries that we do now are surgery for snoring, surgery for siloendoscopy, surgery for pituitary, jugular, clivus. Now, these are all skull-based tumors. Now, this is what the skull. Here, it has come. It has come. It has come. This is what, for non-medical invitees, this is not. This is the way the skull base looks. And if you have tumors arising from here, they are difficult to be managed because it's very difficult to approach that place. Now, to just give you an example, if this is the brain over here and this is the nose, so this is what I'm talking about, this gray line over here, brownish line over here. That is the bone that separates the brain from the nose. The roof of nose is the base of skull. And there are a number of diseases that occur over here, and it's very difficult to approach them. So that is what I mean by skull-based tumors. And skull-based tumors are pituitary, jugular, clival tumors, skull-based osteomyelitis, etc., and a number of other diseases which we have to approach. This is not ever thought about when I was doing MBBS, MS. The plastics in ENT have come into in a very big way. Voice surgeries. Now, to just give you an example, a recent case that was done in Mumbai was a person wanted to become a female. Male wanted to become a female because he was more inclined towards feminine characters. He got himself operated for everything else, and now his voice was still malish. and he wanted his voice to be converted into feminine voice. Yes, that is possible now. And it was done. Cancers of mouth and throat. And in a very big way, implants have come in such a way that they have completely, now we have a separate department of implantology in ENT. Now, if all these things are happening on one side, I have grown from tonsil septum surgeon into as much as I could grow, and I can't grow further because each one of these departments is by subject by itself. You have to spend your life into it to get to that fineness of it. Not only that, but with robotic surgeries coming in, with laser surgeries coming in, with CUSA surgeries coming in, these are just on the horizon. They are already arrived over there. And these, a number of other things like the research in ENT, stem cells in ENT, artificial intelligence in ENT, and genetics in ENT, all these things are about to come. Now, with this sort of situation, what else can happen apart from, if not this building, that to come up with? So, what I'm trying to tell you is that this is just a natural flow of things that has happened. This is not one fine day I just dreamt this should be done and next day it was being done. It has gone into a huge efforts to come to where we are. Thank you very much, all of you, for being with us and listening to me. Thank you.
वी आर रनिंग बिहाइंड द टाईम. आपण कार्यक्रमाला थोडं उशिरा सुरुवात केले. कानिटकर मॅडमना पुढची अपॉइंटमेंट असल्यामुळे लवकर जायचं आहे, तर कार्यक्रमाच्या अध्यक्ष असल्या तरी त्यांचं आपण भाषण आधी घेणार आहोत. तत्पूर्वी काही लोकांचा सत्कार करायचा आहे की ज्यांचं मोलाचं योगदान या इन्स्टिट्यूटच्या उभारणीत आहे. सर्वप्रथम मिसेस काकोडकर आले आहेत. काकोडकर सरांबरोबर त्यांचं आपण सत्कार मिसेस इंदोरवाला करतील. तिकडे जाऊन द्या ना त्यांच्याकडे. ठीक आहे. श्रीयुत बाकीर जफर, ज्यांच्या कल्पकतेतून ही इन्स्टिट्यूट उभी राहिली आहे. आर्किटेक्ट आहेत. फ्रॉम डिझाईन टू फंक्शनॅबिलिटी ही हॅज पुट इज हार्ट इन टू इट अँड वर्क डे अँड नाईट फॉर दिस इन्स्टिट्यूट. मिस्टर बाकीर. श्रीयुत मुर्तजा मोदी, जे हॉस्पिटलचे CFO आहेत, आणि फ्रॉम मॅनेजिंग फायनान्सेस टू कॅलिब्रेशन ऑफ एनी अँड एव्हरी इक्विपमेंट, म्हणजे सगळीकडे त्यांचा प्रेझेन्स आहे. प्लीज बी शॉर्ट.
Good afternoon. I have broken away some rule and taking some words down. Earlier, Dr. Indorewala, as I call him Shabir, and he was talking about some cosmic conspiracy. If it has to be seen or believed, the details which have gone right from operation theater to the least important thing in the premises should be seen and should be observed to understand that it is not only a cosmic conspiracy. I think he was born with it. And if taking birth is a big conspiracy, let it be so. Thank you.
मी काकोडकर सरांना विनंती करतो की शिवमूर्तजा मोदी जे CFO आहेत आणि जे फायनान्शियल भाग पण बघतात आणि मेंटेनन्सही बघतात, त्यांचा सत्कार करावा. काकोडकर सर. नेक्स्ट इज मिस्टर युसुफ पंजाब, जे चीफ एक्झिक्युटिव्ह ऑफिसर आहेत आणि हू लुक्स आफ्टर द ॲडमिनिस्ट्रेशन ऑफ दिस ह्यूज प्रोजेक्ट. आय रिक्वेस्ट काकोडकर सर टू प्लीज फेलिसिटेट हिम. ही ऑल्सो हँडल्स द हिअरिंग एड डिपार्टमेंट विच इज अ डेव्हलप्ड वन. आजच्या कार्यक्रमाचे प्रमुख पाहुणे आणि उद्घाटक श्रीयुत अनिल काकोडकर सर आहेत आणि कार्यक्रमाच्या अध्यक्ष आहेत नाशिकला असलेल्या आरोग्य विज्ञान विद्यापीठाच्या अतिशय लोकप्रिय, विद्यार्थीप्रिय आणि स्टाफप्रिय व्हाईस चान्सलर डॉक्टर माधुरी कानिटकर. माधुरी कानिटकर मॅडमनी MUHSची सूत्र हाती घेतली आणि त्याचा चेहरा मोहराच बदलून टाकला. लष्करी शिस्तीच्या असल्या तरी त्यांच्यात एक मातेच्या मायेने त्यांनी MUHS चालवली आणि विशेष इंटरेस्ट त्यांना मेडिकल एज्युकेशन आणि मेडिकल रिसर्च याच्यामध्ये आहे. वैयक्तिक लक्ष घालतात आणि भविष्याचा विचार करून काय करता येईल याबद्दल त्या हे करत असतात. आपण सभेचा संकेत मोडून आधी त्यांचं हे करणार आहोत, भाषण ऐकणार आहोत. त्यापूर्वी डॉक्टर गौरीला मी विनंती करतो की त्यांचा थोडक्यात परिचय करून द्यावा.
व्यासपीठावरील सर्व मान्यवर आणि व्यासपीठासमोरील सर्व मान्यवर, सर्वांना नमस्कार. आज मला खूप आनंद आणि अभिमान वाटतो आहे की एका अष्टपैलू आणि प्रेरणादायी अशा व्यक्तिमत्वाची ओळख करून देण्याची संधी मला आज मिळाली आहे. आणि त्या म्हणजे MUHSच्या व्हाईस चान्सलर ऑनरेबल लेफ्टनंट जनरल माधुरी कानिटकर मॅम. त्या केवळ भारतीय लष्करातील एक वरिष्ठ अधिकारीच नाही, तर एक कर्तव्यनिष्ठ डॉक्टर, टीचर, टीम लीडर, उत्तम प्रशासक या सर्वांचे एक आदर्श उदाहरण आहेत. त्यांचा जन्म कर्नाटकमधील धारवाड येथे झाला. नंतर त्या पुण्यात त्यांच्या डॉक्टर आजी आजोबांकडे आल्या. 11वी-12वी त्यांनी फर्ग्युसनमधून केलं. MBBS त्यांनी आर्म फोर्सेस मेडिकल कॉलेज पुणे येथून पूर्ण केले. शी रिसिव्ड प्रेसिडेंट्स गोल्ड मेडल अँड कलिंग ट्रॉफी फॉर हर एक्सलन्स इन अकॅडमिक्स अँड एक्स्ट्रा करिक्युलर ॲक्टिव्हिटीज. शी गॉट मॅरिड विथ लेफ्टनंट जनरल राजीव कानिटकर. नंतर त्यांनी पीडियाट्रिक्स मुंबईहून आणि पीडियाट्रिक नेफ्रोलॉजी एम्स दिल्ली येथून केलं. NUH सिंगापोर, GOS लंडन इथे त्यांनी फेलोशिप्स केल्या. त्यांचे अवॉर्ड्स तर खूपच आहेत, त्याचे थोडके मी मेन्शन करते. त्यांना 2014मध्ये विशिष्ट सेवा मेडल, 2018मध्ये अतिविशिष्ट सेवा मेडल, 2022मध्ये परमविशिष्ट सेवा मेडल प्राप्त झाले. शी वॉज डेप्युटी डायरेक्टर जनरल आर्म्ड फोर्सेस मेडिकल सर्व्हिसेस इन न्यू दिल्ली. She was Dean and Deputy Commandant of her alma mater, AFMC Pune. She served as Major General Medical at the Northern Command at Udhampur. On 29 February 2020, she was promoted to the rank of Lieutenant General, and which is the second highest in Indian Army, second highest rank. आणि त्या भारताच्या तिसऱ्या आणि महाराष्ट्राच्या पहिल्या महिला लेफ्टनंट जनरल बनल्या. And they are the first couple in history of Indian Army in which both are Lieutenant General. ऑनरेबल मॅम या प्राईम मिनिस्टर सायन्स टेक्नॉलॉजी अँड इनोव्हेशन ॲडवायझरी काउन्सिलच्या मेंबर आहेत. आर्मीतून रिटायर झाल्यावर 2021पासून त्या MUHS येथे व्हाईस चान्सलर म्हणून कार्यरत आहेत. हा सर्व प्रवास सोपा नव्हता. प्रत्येक चॅलेंजला अपॉर्च्युनिटीमध्ये कन्वर्ट करत त्या पुढे जात राहिल्या. त्यात त्यांना त्यांचे हजबंड, मुलगा निखिल आणि मुलगी विभूती यांची मोलाची साथ लाभली. सो लेडीज अँड जेंटलमन, please put your hands together to welcome the epitome of energy, dedication, determination, passion and hard work, Lieutenant General Madhuri Kanetkar ma'am.
Dr. Kakodkar sir, thank you so much for letting me start the thing before you. Distinguished dignitaries on the dais, Dr. Indorewala Senior, Junior, Dr. Mahajan, the CFO, and all the distinguished delegates who are present here. I think I'll start by saying friends, Nashikites, and Kannak Dr. Walas. Lend me your ear. So I think it's a great honor for me to be here today. Just looking through it, going through the hospital, I spent some time and I'm amazed what 4 years could do. The way they've transformed this landscape. And I really compliment this. Cannot be just a chance of destiny, but you were destined to bring this to Nasik. And you're really lucky. And so is the rest of it. It's a state-of-the-art facility. And in this, when I looked around, I was thrilled with the potential that it has. I've always strived for an amalgamation of 3 silos that exist in the country today: the education, research, and patient care. Traditionally, education is happening in colleges, which are mushrooming with lack of faculty. Research is happening in DST, DBT, ICMR labs with very little connection with patients. And patient care, the majority is happening in our public health service, primary, secondary, tertiary, and they do not have access to either the research or the academics. So these are the silos that pain me. And after taking over at the MUHS, we have strived as a hashtag MUHS Parivar to try and bring about a change. I'll just say try, because the journey has just begun and we have a long way to go. The potential of putting this together at the Indorewala Hospital is phenomenal. Patient care will happen, there's no doubt it will be state of the art. What you showed is really one of the leading centers the country can offer. But how can this, you have a trust, it can reach. But a simple question that I'll need all doctors to think, especially the ENT surgeons here. Cochlear implants come when you diagnose deafness. We have a program for OAE, that is otoacoustic emission, which is a simple bedside screening test. Shouldn't every newborn have an access to it? The truth is far from it. The reality, it is not there. Can I request your hospital to take on a challenge and guide our students and ensure implementation of it at the Civil Hospital Postgraduate Institute? I think if it has 8 to 10,000 deliveries a year, and if these babies as a beginning can be screened 100%, look at what we are doing. Because again, when you are the first transplant surgeon, and it's amazing what just that sense sensibly when the child starts getting inputs. And if there is a delay, nothing can bring it back to normal. If I'm correct from my pediatric days, we say it should be in infancy, latest 2 years. And very often the parents don't even realize the child isn't hearing. So OAE is the only way to screen and then come to centers like this, where BERA can be undertaken and people. The second part of education, which I urge you to think, I was thrilled when you said the BASLP course. I'd like to share with all present here, it is so sad that the entire state of Maharashtra, I have just one college of BASLP. We have no colleges, and I'm requesting all ENT departments, colleges, please take up speech and audiology, because there is no point of giving a cochlear implant without intensive speech therapy. And there's speech therapy required beyond. So a center like this, let's think out of the box with MUHS. Can we start training people to give therapy before giving the complete BASLP? Let's take integrated approach, and I don't mind putting a course together with MUHS where we'll train people to be able to rehabilitate. The third thing, how can we reach the unreached? And I'm very proud to say MUHS has started its first baby steps in digital health technology. We've set up our department and set up the first course in digital health technology along with IIT Mumbai, which today in 3 months, look at the impact when you do something good. I'm happy to say we launched it in December. Today 10,000 doctors of MUHS are undertaking it online, and on the iGot platform, as of date, I have 30,000 doctors. It's being made free of charge to all health professionals to learn the basics of digital health, because that is how we can reach the unreached. They can't come here, but can we give speech therapy in their home? Can we have a startup? For that, I challenge Indorewala to come join hands with us. We've started our first incubator for finding reasons and solutions to problems. I firmly believe there is no problem that doesn't have a solution. There are multiple solutions. We need a multi-sectorial, transdisciplinary approach, and we can find the solutions. We have more than 1 lakh students. We have not integrated. We are specializing, super specializing. We need islands of excellence like these, but we need to see how those lakhs can come to the service. And a lot of courses can be done integrated. I'm happy to announce MUHS is launching the first integrated course, 1-year PDCC in family medicine, which will teach primary health to every healthcare person. Today, society looks out for primary care. They don't have a doctor. They have cystitis because all are cardiologists, nephrologists, but the common man still requires a doctor who will put a hand on the shoulder and say, look, I can take care of your whole body and send you to centers like this. So we are starting that as well. And I think in that, I would love your theme of treat senses with sensibility. I would love all the Nasikites to come to MUHS and see our garden of 5 senses. From jungles, we've created a green campus with rainwater harvesting to tell people, respect your senses. So we ask people there to walk around our lake with hearing, where you sit quietly to hear the birds and the bees. We have more than 56 birds now there. We have a vision, and its vision is not just eyesight. There is, people may hear, but are they listening? People may see, but is there a vision? I think that is what we all, the intellectuals of society, need to look at to take this vision far beyond the limits that we've put ourselves in. And I think that's the way forward. And some of the courses that I'd love to collaborate with you is technicians, speech and language, especially for post-implant surgery. The country needs them, and there are aspiring youth. Let's skill them. We are giving them degrees which are not without skills, without capabilities, without employability. So I think this is where we can come together. And in that specifically, we've started a new program called SIP. I think everyone will know SIP is a structured investment plan, but MUHS calls it the summer internship project to let students, and this year, in 3 years, we've reached 1,000 institutions, 1,000 students, 100 institutions, where undergraduates across pathies come and get stimulated to think beyond boundaries of degrees. And the next is ACE, is an accelerated clinical program. Can my postgraduates in ENT come to centers like this and spend 3 months, get credits for it, for being trained on the best kind of infrastructure? If we open their eyes to the best, they will learn. If they only see mediocrity, we will breed only mediocrity. So I really look forward to these things. And I think I love to see genetics. We have started the Department of Genetics. The university has started integrated research into futuristic situations, whether it's the first state health university with an incubator. And I'm very happy to share that Padma Vibhushan, Dr. Kakodkar is really mentoring us to take IIT and MUHS to the next level of medtech. And I think ENT is a specialty which, even if you didn't do engineering, I think ENT and engineering go hand in hand, whether it's Bera, whether it's equipment, whether it's microscopic surgeries, whether it's skull-based, and future, where we are going to get robotics, laser, and AI. So I think today there's no difference between an engineer and a doctor, but we need a person like Dr. Indorewala, who wanted to be an engineer, came, destiny brought him to medicine, and he'll engineer a way forward and take us to the new century. Thank you so much. Jai Hind. So when I say I look forward to collaboration, I'd like to present the MUHS plaque to Dr. Indorewala so that we will remember that today is the beginning, not the end. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. I think this is the highest appreciation of a center of excellence by a person of excellence. I request Mrs. Indorewala to please come on the dais to felicitate our guest, Dr. Madhuri Kanitkar here. माननीय अध्यक्षांच्या भाषणावर कॉमेंट करणं इज नॉट कन्सिडर्ड ॲप्रोप्रिएट, बट स्टील आय कॅनॉट रेजिस्ट टू से दॅट सच लीडर्स, such visionary people at the helm of institutes really show us the way forward and guide us and offer all the help so that medicine and healthcare goes way ahead. एक स्टेट ऑफ आर्ट फॅसिलिटी, एक वर्ल्ड क्लास फॅसिलिटी आणि त्याच्या उद्घाटनासाठी मॅडम आल्या आणि त्यांनी याच्या पुढचा रस्ता आपल्याला दाखवला, याच्या पुढचं व्हिजन आपल्याला दिलं. मॅडम, थँक्यू व्हेरी मच. मुव्हिंग फॉरवर्ड, ज्यांच्या हस्ते या हॉस्पिटलचं उद्घाटन झालं ते आपले आजचे प्रमुख पाहुणे डॉक्टर अनिल काकोडकर, भारतीय अणुऊर्जा आयोगाचे अनेक वर्ष अध्यक्ष, BIRCचे अध्यक्ष. विज्ञान आणि तंत्रज्ञानाच्या सहाय्याने आपल्या देशाला सक्षम सबळ बनवणारे जे लोक आहेत आपल्या देशात, त्यात काकोडकर सरांचं नाव प्रामुख्याने घेतलं जातं. एक सुदृढ, समर्थ, सबल आणि सक्षम भारत निर्माण करण्यासाठी त्यांनी वर्षानुवर्ष मेहनत घेतली आहे आणि आपलं भाग्य आहे की ते आज आपल्या इथे उद्घाटनाला आलेले आहेत. मी डॉक्टर शानबाग यांना विनंती करतो की काकोडकर सरांचा त्यांनी परिचय करून द्यावा.
My friend Dr. Shabir Indorewala, respected sir, thank you for coming here, and team Indorewala. I have the privilege to introduce the chief guest of today, Dr. Anil Kakodkar. Born in Barwani in Madhya Pradesh, Dr. Anil Kakodkar obtained his BE Honours Mechanical Engineering degree from Bombay University in 1963 and MSc in an experimental stress analysis from the Nottingham University in 1969. He joined the Bhabha Atomic Research Centre, BARC, in 1964 after securing top rank at the training school. Became the director of BARC in the year 1996 and was in the apex leadership role as the chairman of Atomic Energy Commission and secretary to the Government of India, Department of Atomic Energy, for 9 long years during 2000 and 2009. India's atomic energy program received a significant boost through the contributions and leadership of Dr. Kakodkar. Undeterred by the restrictions imposed by the international community, he is succeeding in realizing several key developments in India. He conceptualized and built Dhruva, one of the largest research reactors in the world, and was among the key top individuals responsible for a peaceful nuclear explosion experiment in the year 1974 and nuclear weapons test in 1998. He also pioneered indigenous development of PHWR, power reactor system, and redesigned the development of AHWR that would use thorium. India also demonstrated nuclear submarine power pack technology under Dr. Kakodkar's leadership. While pursuing self-reliant development of nuclear reactor technologies, despite international restrictions, Dr. Kakodkar played a key role in shaping international civil nuclear cooperation that opened nuclear commerce for India, India's civilian nuclear activities, and paved way for growth and nuclear capacity in the country, as well as early development of India's vast thorium resources. He was called a 600-pound gorilla by the Americans as he was a tough negotiator. When asked whether he was offended by, and he responded that he considered that as a compliment. When he was introduced to President Bush, President Bush remarked, "Oh, you are that Kakodkar. Are you happy now?" Post-superannuation, Dr. Kakodkar continues to be active in several aspects of energy, education, and societal development. Development of silage, a concept of sustainability bridging the urban-rural divide being one of them. Several reports of national importance have been brought out by committees chaired by him. He also chairs Rajiv Gandhi Science and Technology Commission of Government of Maharashtra, along with many other bodies. Dr. Kakodkar has been felicitated with all the 3 Padma Awards, as well as Apex State Awards from the Government of Goa, Maharashtra, and Madhya Pradesh, besides numerous other national and international honors. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my proud honor and privilege to present to you one of the most eminent sons of India, Dr. Anil Kakodkar.
Dr. Shabir Indorewala,
the entire Indorewala team, distinguished members present here in the audience, ladies and gentlemen. Let me at the outset thank you for this invitation and see, you're all a team of doctors. We just heard from Dr. Madhuri Kanatkar that in the modern age, doctors, engineers, or for that matter, all disciplines together, unless they work as a team, and if they remain there in their own silos, then we remain in the same old situation where we are. We don't make progress. So, in that sense, I'm happy that I'm able to be here. But I must tell you, it requires courage to invite somebody outside your fraternity. So thank you very much for this opportunity. We just saw a wonderful facility, and we also heard an appraiser of that facility from none other than the Honorable Vice Chancellor of Maharashtra University of Health Sciences, who herself has a lot of experience about both the medical infrastructure and making it work, and for that matter, the larger development of medical facilities, medical support system for the benefit of common people of this country. So I think Team Indorewala, and especially Dr. Shabir, you deserve our highest compliments for this very dedicated achievement and contribution. I'm sure there are facilities and facilities. We hear, multi-speciality institutions is a very common thing that we hear. But a very high speciality and a single focus, and within that single focus we saw the diversity from your presentation. So to create an institution with a vision to go forward, and we got a glimpse of some of it, I think is very unique, and that this is happening in Nasik and not in Mumbai is also a very important thing, because such very advanced facilities, a normal conventional wisdom would say that you locate facilities where there are clients. And then when it comes to higher order things, it gets metamorphosed into you locate facilities where there are clients who have capability to pay. So I think it takes courage to locate the facility of this kind, very high specialized facility, to locate it where you are, and to expect that this becomes a bridge between a center where such facilities are located and the remote corners of this country. I think Nasik is very properly placed. You go maybe 15 kilometers out and you will get into absolute kind of a village life. And some of the villages which require really development are very close from here. So anyway, the point is it requires courage to locate such a facility here. And I think all respects to you for showing that courage and the vision to take this forward. For me, I often wonder, see, India is a place where, the super speciality, in the sense, if you say where we are in terms of these advanced facilities and services in medical field, and you will find India ranks quite high. Medical tourism has become, many foreigners come to India because you get quality service which is very competitively priced. But having said that, if you just Google and find out what is India's position among different countries in terms of the healthcare system, rank India among countries in the context of healthcare system, and I think that rank is as low as 145, not to be very proud of. So this is the challenge. And I think there are many such examples. I'm giving you an example in medical domain where India is a big country. India is economically advancing. We consider India to be an economic superpower, at least soon to be economic superpower. But when you look at each one of them in the context of common people, we just go to the rock bottom. And I think all of us meaning not just medical profession, but all professionals, all people who want to see this country advanced, I think one single feature which requires maximum attention, regardless of the domain in which we are in, is to bridge this gap. Bridge this gap between the seemingly top position or as a great power that India represents, and making sure that that top position also reflects, as far as an individual, common individual is concerned, common person is concerned, or for that matter, I'll dare say, person at the base of pyramid is concerned. And so I was quite struck by when Dr. Kanetkar talked about, I will use my non-technical language, but what she said was that we should do screening of every newborn within period of 2 years to make sure that, what are the hearing abilities, are there any lacuna there, and then attend to that. And I was reminded, I had again gone to a village in the rural domain close from here. There was a school being run by a lady, very dedicated lady from Thane, so that's how I had gone there. And that school, a small school, there were some, I think, 70, 80 children. And not that I didn't know, but it was, when you see this in front of your eyes, it's a stark reality. So it says these are children who are having hearing impairment, and because of their hearing impairment, they can't speak. They have become dumb. And so they had in the school, as a part of school, different types of hearing aids, depending on their needs, were given. And then their education continued. And of course, because they couldn't speak because they had not experienced it. Otherwise, there was no problem. But that created, and they could at least speak out, even though they had this hearing. And what a difference it would make to the lives of those people and also their families. So I think this is another way of looking at, we have this, we tend to create our isolations, we tend to create our own groupings and work in our silos. That's another way of looking at young kids, children, look at them holistically and what difference it can make. And I think certainly that suggestion is good. I think she made very many good suggestions, even the aspect of internship, which the MUHS is proposing, is, I think, very important. So I have nothing to do with MUHS or Indorewala Ent institution, but I think certainly it augurs very well that a health university is so close by, and you being an advanced institution can both contribute to the programs of health university, but also benefit from it by getting so many young people here. So that's wonderful, and I would strongly commend that be taken up. I'm not a specialist, I'm not a medical doctor, I'm not a specialist in the ENT area, but I want to talk about some broader points in this context. For example, I am sure you'll be pursuing very advanced level of research, or she also mentioned medtech. I'll talk about medtech a little later. But, many times one wonders, do we really require very expensive research facilities to do world-class research? And of course the answer is yes. You can't deprive those facilities are required. But it just occurs to me, I remember Dr. Abhay Bang, a close friend of mine, I'm sure many of you have heard. After his training abroad, he returned back, decided to work in Gadchiroli. He didn't come with a determination that my specialty is this, so I will provide this service. He spent significant time, almost a year or so, talking to the tribal people there and trying to understand from them what are their problems. And there are several problems. So he decided to take up the first problem, which was the worst problem, the problem with highest level of intensity. And that was with respect to the child pneumonia, or it had to, in terms of the infant mortality rate, which is an important parameter for among the various healthcare indices. In India itself, this is a challenge, and in Gadchiroli this was an even bigger challenge, because in that area there was no possibility for detecting that this is a condition for a child. And even if one got a clue, there was no possibility of reaching that child to the hospital in the required time, because from there to go to hospital, sometimes it would take 2 days, sometimes even longer. So Dr. Bang decided to do something about this and find a solution. He decided that to find that solution, he cannot depend on highly specialized medical doctors, because they will not go there. So he decided that he will take the help of the the ASHA workers who are there around, he will try to find a solution within the educational competence of those people, which many times is less than 10th standard. So he developed a particular abacus because he found that they cannot even count more than 10. So he designed an abacus, he designed an hourglass, and gave training to these workers. They probably didn't even know, but you find the pulse rate at such and such level, or you find, what are all the other conditions you people know better than me. And then he decided that if you find that, this is the treatment package, administer. And he collected a lot of statistics, because the normal methods of detecting and curing pneumonia had some yardsticks. So any other alternate method, you have to prove that this is comparable or better than that yardstick. So he collected statistics and published all this data in a journal as respectable as Lancet, sitting in Gadchiroli with whatever facilities were there. And that transformed the medical support system in terms of infant mortality, right at the level of World Health Organization, right at the level of India's health ministry. And he brought the infant mortality in Gadchiroli to a level better than the best in the country, from a very low position, and such things are possible. So while I commend you and encourage you to team up with MUHS and join forces to address all issues that India has, rural India has, in terms of your area of speciality, I think here is in every problem there is an opportunity. You yourself said that. And that, I think, is something which can happen. And with your competence, your dedication, your team spirit, I see a great opportunity for that to happen. Just one word on MedTech again. What Dr. Kanetkar was talking about was this issue of, our medical systems are becoming more and more expensive. One of the reasons for that is the medical equipment, most of which is imported, particularly the high-end medical equipment is imported, and its costs are going up and up. Today, India imports roughly 50,000 crore worth of medical equipment every year. That's the foreign exchange outgo. Now, if it's a normal commerce, things will be all right. But every time a new medical equipment comes, which has some edge over the other one, because that's how the technology is going up, there is a lot of opportunity cost. Because I am bringing in the market a new equipment which other equipment cannot do. So obviously, the cost of that equipment, I dare say, because I have some exposure to these issues, that the cost of equipment would be at least 50% or more higher than what it actually should be, what it took to manufacture, what it took to provide that equipment. And that is entirely opportunity cost. And the question is, people charge us that opportunity cost because they know that we don't make it here. And I have first-hand experience in terms of a teletherapy equipment, which is now there is a indigenous state-of-art equipment, Babatron, in the market. And that brought down the price of that equipment in the market by almost 50%. So I have that first-hand evidence of that happening. So it was in that context that this ecosystem at IIT, it's a multi-institutional ecosystem. IIT, MUHS, College of Engineering Pune, VNIT Nagpur, all put together. And Professor Ravi, who actually spearheaded this in IIT, it's within a span of 5 to 6 years, that group, a team of engineers, team of medical doctors, team of students, and of course, nearly a dozen medical and engineering colleges working together. So let me tell you just some statistics, what can happen when we get rid of silo mentality and decide to work together. So here, within that short time of coming in of this ecosystem into existence, they have brought in something like 49 innovative medical products. And most of them are high-end medical products. They have been, out of that, some have been taken up by existing industries, but there are 23 startups. So the new industries, new startups have come into existence. And these startups and these technologies have been awarded by Bairag Big Awards. I'm sure many of you would. DBT has these awards for new startups to create new activities, and if it is beyond a particular threshold, they give you an award of 50 lakhs of rupees. And there are more than something like 25, 30 such innovations there have been awarded. Something like 15 crore worth of awards have been backed by these startups, and so on and so forth. So the point I'm trying to make, and of course, there are issues. Whenever we break silos, there are issues. So we're talking with MUHS as to how to overcome those issues. But I think that point is absolutely important, that as we need ourselves to be put through some cultural correction where we break all these silos, and I'm sure in the area of your specialization, with so many ideas that are kind of floating around in your minds, there is a scope for doing many new things. Some of it will be very, very specific to the challenges which are more prevalent in our neighborhood, in the country. So I look at this particular development that you have created. Of course, it is meant for providing a service. It is meant for taking the field forward. It is meant for India, we have on one side you have research, development and new products. Other sides we have a very strong point in terms of professionals who have, and doctors, engineers, architects, all professionals. And I think that is where Indians have actually excelled. You name a field, and I mentioned to you about medical tourism. That is because, it's again, now these professionals have demonstrated that they can do anything in their area at the world-class level. That is well established. Now the question is whether can you take this beyond what is world-class? In the sense, can we be leader in that area and not only be world class, but let's say teach the world, as it were. And if in that kind of thing, as I was saying, you require a new kind of approach, new kind of cultural, I call it cultural revolution, because I think it has same kind of dimensions. If we do that, I think there is absolutely no stopping of this country. So I see in the ENT Institute the seeds of that happening. You are already at the top level in your own area. You can now take the leadership of this movement and make the difference, not just for this area, but for the country as a whole. And I wish you all the best, all luck in doing so. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir. While acknowledging, appreciating, and praising this facility, he also pointed towards the stark difference between the highest super specialty care and deficiency at the level of primary health care, and urged all of us to work towards bridging this gap. I think a very important message to be taken home by all the doctors present here. Thank you so much, sir. I request Dr. Indorewala to please felicitate our chief guest, one who inaugurated this facility, to Dr. Anil Kakodkar. भारताचा अणुऊर्जा आयोग एका वेगळ्या उंचीवर नेऊन ठेवणारे डॉक्टर काकोडकर हे भारत मातेचे खरोखर मोठे सुपुत्र आहेत. दोन सूचना आहेत. एकतर काकोडकर सरांनी लिहिलेलं फायर अँड फ्युरी हे पुस्तक त्यांच्या ऑटोग्राफसह आपल्या सगळ्यांना भेट म्हणून मिळणार आहे जाताना. त्यापूर्वी कार्यक्रम संपल्यावर सगळ्यांनी जेवणाचा आस्वाद घ्यायचा आहे. आता मी इन्स्टिट्यूटचे CEO श्रीयुत युसुफ यांना विनंती करतो की त्यांनी वोट ऑफ थँक्स करावं.
Respected dignitaries, esteemed guests, and my dear friends, I am honored before this 400 VIPs who have contributed our nation in various ways and field. I thank you, all of you, for your presence, which means a lot. Thank you. First and foremost, I would like to thank our chief guest, Padma Vibhushan Dr. Anil Kakodkar sir and his wife for inaugurating this institution. Your presence has truly made this momentous occasion even more special, sir. I would also like to thank Dr. Madhuri Kanitkar Madam, Vice Chancellor MUHS, for taking out time for be with us today. Her presence of words of wisdom and encouragement means a lot to all of us. Our gratitude also goes to our family friend and Chief Electoral Officer of Maharashtra, Choklingam sir. Your constant support and guidance is truly speechless for these words. Thank you so much, sir. Our gratitude, we also thanks to eminent personality of Nasik, including our Divisional Commissioner, Gedam sir, NMC Commissioner Khatri Madam, Collector Jalaj Sharma sir, Commissioner Tribal Development Adivasi Vikas Bhavan, Mrs. Leena Bansal Madam, CO Zilla Parishad Mittal Madam, and our dear Gamesh sir. We appreciate a local corporator of Nasik, Villoli and Gaudane Sarpanch, MLA and our MP, musician, dancer, singer, cricketer, fitness guru, doctors, advocate, bureaucrat, politicians, builders, and many other dignitaries who have contributed our nation in various ways. Last but not the least, I would like to thank to entire construction team who have made our dream of this institution a reality. Thank you all once again for the special occasion and your presence. Your presence has made this day truly unforgettable. Thank you.
कार्यक्रमानंतर या इथेच जेवणाची व्यवस्था आहे. सगळ्यांना विनंती आहे की जेवणाचा आस्वाद घ्यावा.
जल्दी शुरू करो.